Soul Remembering 5. Spiritual Awakening Book 12. Seraphina Hartwell by Soul Sanctuary Audio. Copyright Seraphina Hartwell. Introduction: The Sacred Spiral of Remembrance. Awakening is not a single lightning strike moment. It is a slow, spiraling unfurling, a dance between forgetting and remembering. For many, the path begins with an ache, a whisper that says, "There is more than this." That whisper leads us inward. We begin to shed the layers that were never truly ours, and underneath, something ancient and eternal calls to be seen. That calling is your soul, and soul remembering is your invitation to meet it again. This book is not about acquiring something new. It is about remembering what has always been within you. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are simply remembering, and remembering requires tenderness, curiosity, and a deep willingness to be changed. In the earlier stages of awakening, much of the focus is on unraveling illusions, the ego, trauma patterns, inherited beliefs. That work is sacred and necessary. But at a certain point, the spiritual journey shifts. You begin not only to release the false, but to reclaim the true. This is where soul remembering begins. It is not about destruction. It is about embodiment. You are not here to become someone else. You are here to become more fully yourself. This is not a return to a past version of you, but a spiral inward toward your essence, the part untouched by fear, judgment, or separation. In this book, you will tap into the deeper self beneath personality, explore soul memories and multidimensional echoes, connect with the Akashic Field and ancestral knowing, decode dreams and symbols as doorways into remembrance, unearth your soul gifts and sacred callings, activate your remembrance through ritual, recognize your soul family and energetic allies, align with your divine design and embodied purpose, reclaim your soul's name, and live soul-led. This journey may stir emotion, reveal forgotten truths, and ask you to surrender control, but it will also reconnect you with joy, clarity, and belonging. Soul remembering is a sacred companion for the phase of your spiritual path where remembering becomes more powerful than seeking. Let this be your affirmation. I am remembering who I am. 1. Beyond the personality, tapping into the deeper self. We live in a world obsessed with identity. From birth, we are named, labeled, categorized. We are taught who to be, how to behave, and what to strive for. These structures help us survive, but eventually they become cages. We forget that we are not the roles we play or the masks we wear. We forget that beneath the constructed self lies something eternal, the soul. The soul is not a concept. It is your essence. It is the part of you that existed before you had a name and will exist long after your story ends. Tapping into the deeper self means learning to listen to the quiet truth beneath the noise of personality. The personality as a tool, not an identity. Your personality is not your enemy. It is a beautifully designed interface for navigating the human world. Your preferences, humor, talents, and quirks are part of your unique way of expressing soul. But problems arise when personality becomes the container for your identity rather than the channel for your essence. Have you ever said, "That's just who I am," and felt a subtle constriction? That's the soul nudging you, asking, is that really true, or is it just familiar? Tapping into the deeper self requires radical honesty. Where have you mistaken personality traits for identity? Where have defense mechanisms become defining characteristics? Try this reflection. Think of a trait you strongly identify with, e.g., "I'm always the helper," or "I don't trust easily." Ask yourself, Was this trait shaped by love or by pain? If it was shaped by pain, ask, what truth exists underneath this protection? This exercise is not about erasing who you are, but peeling back the layers that were built in response to wounding. Beneath them lies your soul, pure, intuitive, wise. The witness within. To access the deeper self, you must become the witness. The witness is the part of you that observes without judgment. It is not your inner critic or your survival mind. It is the spacious, compassionate awareness that sees you clearly. Imagine yourself as a house. The personality lives in the front rooms, the spaces guests see. The soul resides deeper inside. To reach it, you must walk through the hallways of your inner world. The witness is the light you carry with you as you move inward. Try this practice. 1. Sit comfortably and take a few deep breaths. 2. Imagine yourself stepping back into a quiet, observant part of yourself. 3. Begin to notice your thoughts without attachment. Say silently, I see that thought, but I am not that thought. 5. Do the same with emotions. I feel this emotion, but I am not this emotion. This practice helps you create space between who you are and what you experience. And in that space, the soul emerges. The language of the soul. The soul doesn't speak in sentences. It speaks in symbols, sensations, longings, and resonance. You might feel a sudden pull toward a place you've never been. You might cry at a piece of music without knowing why. You might feel a deep yes in your body when you hear a truth. These are soul signals. They bypass the rational mind because they are older than thought. Learning the language of the soul means becoming fluent in intuition, sensation, and subtle energy. One way to deepen your connection to this intuitive language is to keep a soul signals journal. Each day, take time to record the things that stir something deep within you, those moments that give you chills, move you to tears, or ignite a spark of curiosity. These are not coincidences. They are messages from your deeper self. Notice what you feel drawn to, even if you don't yet understand why. Sometimes the soul speaks through subtlety and delay, trusting that you will make the connection in time. Also, pay close attention to resonance, those people, places, ideas, and experiences that feel inexplicably familiar or comforting. If something feels like home without a clear reason, it's often a sign that your soul is recognizing a frequency it knows well. Trust this resonance. It is one of your most reliable guides. And when you're faced with choices or turning points, shift your inner question from what should I do to what feels most like freedom, what feels most like truth. The soul gravitates toward expansion and authenticity. The path that feels lightest, most alive, is often the one aligned with your deeper essence. Unlearning to remember, tapping into the deeper self, is less about effort and more about allowance. It is a process of unlearning. You are not becoming someone new. You are removing the static that blocks the signal. Unlearning often requires grief. You may grieve the version of yourself you worked so hard to become. You may grieve the years spent living a life that wasn't fully yours. Honor that grief. It is part of the rite of return. There is no rush. The soul unfolds in divine timing. Each moment of honesty, curiosity, and presence brings you closer to the core. Let this be your reminder. I am not who the world told me to be. I am who my soul remembers. In the chapters ahead, we will journey deeper into the landscapes of memory, meaning, and embodiment. But for now, know this. You are more than your name, your job, your history, or your pain. You are a spark of the infinite. You are a soul in a body remembering itself. And this remembering, it is the most sacred act of all. 2. Soul history and echoes, memories beyond this lifetime. What if your current life is just one chapter in a much longer soul story? What if the longings, fears, and talents you carry are echoes from lifetimes you can no longer consciously recall? This chapter invites you to step into the timeless dimension of your soul's memory, a field of remembrance where time is not linear and everything you have ever been still vibrates softly beneath the surface of who you are now. Soul remembering includes not only the truth of your essence, but the history your soul has carried across lifetimes. These echoes are not just metaphysical curiosities. They shape your present life in ways both subtle and profound. Past life imprints may influence your relationships, your challenges, your deepest passions, and even the parts of life that inexplicably stir emotion in you. The nature of soul memory, unlike the memory of the brain, which stores information through neurons and patterns of repetition, soul memory is vibrational. It lives in your energy field, your emotional body, and sometimes even your physical form. You may not recall exact lifetimes with perfect clarity, but your soul remembers through emotional patterns that repeat without clear explanation, those feelings of fear, guilt, or longing that seem to come from nowhere. It remembers through deep knowing about people or places, those uncanny moments of familiarity that cannot be logically explained. It surfaces in unexplained fears or phobias that don't match any trauma in this lifetime, in fascinations with certain cultures or time periods that feel like home, and in innate skills or talents that arise with little or no training, as if you've done it all before. These fragments of soul memory can surface through dreams, déjà vu, or moments of profound resonance. They are your soul's way of whispering, "You have been here before." Signs of soul echoes. How do you know if a current experience is rooted in a past life memory? Look for intensity that seems disproportionate to your present context. For instance, you might have a powerful aversion to water despite never having had a traumatic water incident in this life, suggesting a past life event tied to drowning or water-based trauma. You might carry a deep fear of abandonment that persists even with a loving partner, echoing a soul memory of betrayal or loss. A strong connection to a spiritual path or region of the world you've never visited could indicate past life involvement or lineage. Sometimes you meet someone and feel instantly close or instantly triggered, as if your soul remembers something unresolved or deeply significant. These signs suggest that your soul is bringing old material to the surface for integration, healing, or completion. Try asking yourself, where in life do I experience an emotional charge that doesn't quite make sense? What stories or symbols keep showing up in my dreams? Is there something I've always felt I was meant to do? Let these questions guide you, not toward fixed answers, but toward deeper curiosity. Dreams and spontaneous memory. Dreams often serve as portals to soul memory. Because dreams bypass the logical mind, they can bring through symbolic or literal fragments from other lifetimes. You may dream in landscapes that feel vividly real, speak languages you do not consciously know, or wake up with emotions that linger long after. Pay attention to recurring dream motifs that involve the same place or era, as these may reflect persistent past life themes or identities. Dreams that evoke intense emotion, especially grief or recognition, often point to soul memories asking for your attention. Encounters with dream figures who feel real and familiar may represent members of your soul family or guides from other timelines. Keeping a dream journal can be especially helpful. Don't try to interpret everything logically. Instead, track what feels emotionally charged or unusually familiar. These may be doors to memory. Spontaneous memories can also surface through meditation, deep relaxation, breath work, or even certain body-based therapies. You may suddenly see a scene, feel a flash of knowing, or experience a physical reaction that makes no sense in the context of your current life. These are all valid forms of remembrance. Childhood clues and soul threads. Children often have the clearest connection to past lives because the veil of forgetting has not yet fully descended. You may have had memories as a child that adults dismissed as fantasy. Did you talk about other parents or places you used to live? Did you display talents or fears beyond your years? Looking back on your early childhood can offer important soul clues. For instance, you might have been drawn to certain time periods, books, or cultures with a sense of deep fascination, suggesting familiarity from a past life. You may have consistently played out specific roles, such as healer, warrior, or teacher in your imaginative games, which can reflect archetypes or identities from previous incarnations. If you had an imaginary friend who felt more like a guide or memory, that presence could have been a soul ally or spiritual companion from a previous journey. Even if you don't consciously recall your past lives, these early expressions are hints from your soul's deeper storyline. Karmic threads and healing across time. Karma is often misunderstood as punishment or reward. In truth, it is about energetic balance and soul growth. When a wound or theme is left unresolved in one life, it may carry over into the next for deeper integration. Some karmic patterns may show up as repeating relationship dynamics such as betrayal, abandonment, or unreciprocated love, where the emotion feels far deeper than the timeline suggests. You may notice chronic blocks around self-worth, visibility, or safety, even if you were nurtured and supported in this life. Or perhaps you carry a longing to serve, protect, or redeem something without knowing exactly why, a drive rooted in a past life vow or mission. Working with karmic memory doesn't mean obsessing over every past life. Rather, it means approaching persistent patterns with sacred curiosity. What is this really about? What wants to be healed? Practices like regression therapy, intuitive journaling, and soul retrieval can help retrieve and integrate these echoes. But often, your body and intuition already know what wants to be remembered. Healing the past is less about understanding every detail and more about releasing the emotional residue that limits your present. Sacred remembering practice, the soul memory meditation. Find a quiet, safe space and take several grounding breaths. Light a candle or place a hand on your RT. Then repeat inwardly, I open to remember the wisdom my soul carries. I invite any memory or insight that will serve my healing and wholeness now. Allow whatever arises to come without judgment. It may be a feeling, image, name, sensation, or memory fragment. Stay open. Trust what you receive, even if it seems Afterward, journal your experience. Ask, what did I feel, sense, or see? What does this remind me of? Is there an action, forgiveness, or insight that comes with this me? Mori, you may not make sense of it all right away. That's okay. The point is not to solve a puzzle, but to welcome your soul's truth back into the light. Living with soul memory, as you awaken to your soul history, life becomes richer and more layered. You may begin to see your present life as a continuation, not a standalone story. Old fears may soften when you realize they aren't you, but echoes. Gifts may flourish when you stop doubting them and start trusting that you've carried them through life. At times, soul remembering does not require full recollection of every past life. It simply asks for presence, willingness, and irrence. Your soul knows what to reveal, when to reveal it, and how to guide you gently through it. Let this be your mantra. I honor all I have been. I trust who I am becoming. My soul remembers, and I am ready to listen. In the next chapter, we will explore how to consciously connect with the Akashic Field, the vibrational archive of all that has ever been, to deepen your journey of remembrance and ment. 3. The Akashic Field, accessing timeless knowing. There is a place beyond time where every thought, action, and emotion your soul has ever experienced is recorded. It is not a place in the physical sense, but an energetic frequency, an ever-present field that some call the Akashic Records or the Akashic Field. This chapter is an invitation to open that field within yourself, not as an intellectual pursuit, but as a profound act of soul are. To remember who you truly are is to access the truth that has always been. And the Akashic Field is where that truth lives. It is where the soul's journey is documented across lifetimes, dimensions, and experiences. When we access the Akashic Field, we don't just gain insight into the past. We receive guidance for the now and clarity for what we are becoming. What is the Akashic Field? The Akashic Field is often described as a non-physical library or vibrational archive that stores the collective memory of all souls. In ancient Sanskrit, Akasha means ether or space, the subtle, elemental layer that underlies all creation. Unlike physical books, the records are accessed through frequency, intention, and resonance. Every soul has its own Akashic record, a unique energetic imprint containing the essence of its journey. You do not need to be a mystic or a trained reader to connect with the Akashic Field. You are inherently connected to it because it exists within the soul. Accessing it is more about attunement than effort, a shift into a state of receptive awareness where intuitive knowing becomes possible. How the Akashic Field guides. Soul remembering. When you open the Akashic Field, you step into a realm where your soul's history, purpose, and patterns can be viewed with compa, science, and clarity. It allows you to understand persistent themes in your life as part of a soul curriculum, offering perspective on recurring challenges not as random events, but as intentional growth points chosen by your higher self. It provides validation for inner knowings or soul memories, confirming what your intuition has long whispered. It helps you heal unresolved energies from past lives or ancestral lines by bringing them into the light of awareness where they can be released or integrated. And it offers insight into your soul's gifts, contracts, and higher purpose, illuminating the path ahead with essence and clarity. More than anything, the records offer you the chance to see yourself through the lens of unconditional love. They do not judge. They simply reflect what is true, so you can make more empowered choices aligned with your soul's design. Preparing to access the Akashic Field. Before entering the records, it helps to prepare yourself energetically and emotionally. The clearer and more grounded your intention, the more easeful your connection. Start by finding a quiet space where you feel safe and undisturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and bring awareness to your breath. Imagine your energy settling into your body like sand king to the ocean floor. Then set a sacred intention. You might say silently or aloud, I now open myself to the wisdom of the Akashic Field. May I receive whatever will serve my highest remembering and healing now. I ask for guidance that is clear, loving, and true. Keep your intention simple and sincere. The Akashic Field responds not to the complexity of your words, but to the frequency of your heart. Entering the field, a guided approach. There are many ways to access the Akashic Field through prayer, meditation, visualization, or intuitive channeling. Here is one simple practice you can begin with. The Pillar of Light meditation. 1. Sit in stillness. Place both feet flat on the ground and imagine a beam of golden white light descending from above, tearing the crown of your head. 2. Feel this light traveling down through your body, anchoring into the earth through your feet. This light connects you to you, our soul, and to the Akashic Field. 3. Inhale slowly. As you exhale, mentally say, I enter the phi, ELD of my soul's highest knowing. For allow images, sensations, or words to arise. Done. T try to control or analyze them. Just witness. 5. After several minutes, gently return your awareness to the room. Give thanks for what you received, even if it felt subtle. Keep a journal nearby to record impressions, messages, or emotions that surfaced. Often, clarity deepens. In the hours or days that follow. Understanding what you receive. When accessing the Akashic Field, it's important to approach the process with openness rather than expectation. You may receive vivid imagery, emotional releases, or simply a sense of peace or affirmation. Trust what comes, even if it doesn't make immediate sense. The records often speak in symbols and layers. You might ask questions such as what soul lesson you are currently integrating, allowing you to recognize the deeper growth behind everyday challenges. You might inquire about the origin of a repeating pattern in your life, opening the door to ancestral or past life understanding. You can ask what gift wants to emerge more fully now, supporting your alignment with your soul's calling. Or you may seek clarity on what aspect of your soul you are being invited to reclaim, helping you re-inhabit lost parts of your inner truth. As you work with the field more regularly, you will develop a personal language of connection. Over time, you may begin to sense your soul guides or keepers of the records, loving presences who help transmit information aligned with your growth. Healing through the records. The Akashic Field does not merely offer insight, it offers transformation. When you bring awareness to a wound or distortion within the records, you can also invite its resolution. Simply recognizing a soul pattern often begins the process of release. Try this. If a painful memory or energetic block surfaces, breathe into it. Ask the records, what does this energy need in order to be healed or integrated? You may be guided to forgive, to release a vow, or to reclaim a lost aspect of self. Trust the process. Healing in the Akashic Field is not about force. It is about allowing truth to emerge and love to restore what was once fragmented. The role of soul contracts and agreements. Within the Akashic Field lie the energetic agreements your soul has made, both with itself and with others. These are not binding fates, but evolutionary commitments made from a higher state of awareness. You may have agreed to learn compassion through challenging relationships, choosing soul companions who would help mirror and activate this sacred lesson. You might have chosen to cultivate sovereignty after lifetimes of disempowerment, finally learning to trust and stand in your own light. Or perhaps you came to hold light within a lineage of trauma or silence, serving as a bridge of healing across generations. When you view your current life circumstances through the lens of these soul contracts, even your most painful experiences can be reframed as purposeful. That doesn't mean bypassing or excusing harm, but rather reclaiming your power as a conscious creator within a larger soul arc. You always have the choice to renegotiate or complete a contract. The records can help you understand when an agreement has fulfilled its purpose and when it is time to release it. Living in alignment with the records, accessing the Akashic Field, is not a one-time event. It is a relationship, a practice of remembering, listening, and embodying. The more you connect, the more you begin to live from that deeper frequency. You might notice greater clarity around your choices and purpose, as if the fog of confusion is lifting. Your intuitive voice may become stronger, guiding you through the heart rather than the mind. Synchronicity and flow often increase, creating a sense of ease and divine orchestration in daily life. And most of all, you may feel a sense of inner calm even amidst uncertainty, knowing you are held within a larger rhythm of soul unfolding. Your external life may not change overnight, but your internal compass becomes steady. You begin to live less from fear or doubt, and more from remembrance. Let this be your affirmation. I carry the wisdom of lifetimes within me. I open to receive the truth that sets me free. The records live in me, and I live in alignment with their light. In the next chapter, we will explore how dreams, symbols, and subtle perceptions offer everyday portals into the soul's language, a continuation of your deepening remembrance and inner communion. 4. Dreams, symbols, and past life glimpses, doorways into remembrance. Your soul is always communicating with you. It speaks not in words but in symbols, sensations, and the language of dreams. These subtle yet potent expressions are not random. They are meaningful invitations into deeper remembrance. When we begin to pay attention to the realm of dreams and the recurring motifs that dance through our subconscious, we open a portal to timeless knowing. Through dreams, symbolic imagery, and spontaneous past life impressions, the soul finds a way to pierce the veil and whisper its ancient truths back into our awareness. This chapter is about reclaiming those whispers, learning to decode the intuitive language of your soul and recognize how dreams and symbols can lead you to memories beyond this lifetime. These glimpses are not always grand or cinematic. Often, they arise as subtle flashes of knowing, the gentle tug of resonance, or the sudden familiarity of a place or person you've never consciously met. When honored with curiosity and presence, these experiences become sacred breadcrumbs guiding you back to yourself. The dream world as a soul playground. Dreams are more than mental noise or emotional residue. They are one of the most direct channels through which the soul communicates with the conscious mind. During sleep, the logical, filtering mind relaxes, allowing the deeper, intuitive parts of us to surface. This makes the dream state fertile ground for soul messages, symbolic insight, and even direct recall of other lives or dimensions. In your dreams, you may encounter strange places, engage in unfamiliar roles, or interact with figures who feel hauntingly familiar. Some dreams may be surreal and fragmented, while others carry the clarity of waking life. When you begin to record and reflect on these experiences, you may notice patterns, images or themes that recur, emotional tones that carry across different dreams, or even specific characters who return night after night. These are not coincidences. They are maps. Recurring dreams often point to unresolved themes or soul contracts seeking attention. Vivid dreams that evoke strong emotional reactions can be signals of past life memories or significant archetypal energies. Nightmares, too, have their place. They often carry warnings, insights, or a call to face suppressed fears that originated in earlier chapters of the soul's journey. Keeping a dream journal is one of the most powerful ways to track your soul's dialogue. Upon waking, jot down everything you remember, no matter how small or strange. Record colors, sensations, and emotional tones, as well as the plot. Over time, a personal symbolic language will emerge, offering insights into your soul's needs, memories, and guidance. Understanding symbolic language. Symbols are the soul's alphabet. They bypass the conscious mind and deliver messages directly to your intuition. While certain symbols carry collective archetypal meanings, such as water symbolizing emotion or bridges representing transitions, your personal history gives each symbol its unique flavor. For example, a white owl might be a symbol of wisdom for one person and a harbinger of loss for another, depending on lived experience and inner associations. The key to working with symbols is to feel, not analyze. Ask yourself, what does this image evoke in me emotionally? When have I seen this before in life or in dreams? What am I being invited to notice, embrace, or change? Common symbolic images that often relate to soul remembrance include ancient temples, spirals, doors or thresholds, old cities, flames, and oceans. Animal messengers, celestial bodies, and natural elements can also carry potent messages. When you consistently encounter a symbol, whether in dreams, meditation, or waking life, pause and consider its significance. You are likely receiving a soul transmission, past life glimpses, and emotional imprints. Not all soul memories arrive as conscious past life regressions. Sometimes they come as emotional imprints that are stirred by the present moment. A scent, a song, a piece of art, or the feeling of walking into a certain landscape can suddenly evoke grief, awe, or belonging without any logical reason. These are glimpses, fractals of memory stored in your energy field. You may have been drawn to a certain era or culture for as long as you can remember. Perhaps you feel at home in spiritual traditions you were never taught, or find yourself deeply affected by historic events you did not live through. These are signs of resonance, markers of soul familiarity. Occasionally, a spontaneous memory may flash into your awareness during meditation or in a dream. You may see yourself in different clothing, hear a language you do not speak, or witness scenes that feel charged with personal significance. Even if you do not understand the full story, these glimpses are real. They are not fabrications of the mind, but echoes of lived experience. Honoring these glimpses means approaching them with reverence and openness. Let them inform your present understanding without needing them to be complete. Often, the emotional resonance is more important than the details. Ask, what is the essence of what I am remembering here? What quality, lesson, or healing wants to be retrieved? Working with soul dreams and archetypes. Some dreams are infused with archetypal energies, universal themes and characters that represent larger forces within the collective unconscious. These include the wise elder, the wounded child, the warrior, the priestess, the lover, and the shadow. When such figures appear in your dreams, they are not just personal. They represent aspects of your soul calling for integration. If you dream of being chased, you may be confronting an unclaimed shadow. If you dream of flying, you may be experiencing the lifting of old limitations. If you dream of dying or being reborn, you may be undergoing a spiritual initiation. These dreams are invitations to embody more of your soul essence. Archetypal dreams are especially potent during times of spiritual transition. Keep track of them. Reflect on their emotional message. Consider the symbolic meaning of each character and setting. Your dreamscape is not a random collage. It is a carefully designed curriculum authored by your soul. Practices for deepening dream and symbol work to enhance your connection with dreams and symbols as tools for soul remembering. Consider the following practices. 1. Dream incubation. Before sleep, place a journal beside your bed and speak an intention aloud. Ask your soul for a dream that will bring clarity to a current question or emotional pattern. Upon waking, write down whatever comes, even if it's only a feeling or a single word. 2. Symbol tracking. Choose a recurring symbol and meditate on it. Ask what role it has played in your life, what message it carries, and how it may relate to your soul's journey. Create artwork, write a poem, or find a creative way to express the symbol's essence. 3. Guided past life dream work. Use a guided meditation or hypnagogic journey designed to explore past life imagery. Relax deeply and allow scenes, emotions, or impressions to arise. Write or speak what you experience without censoring. 4. Group sharing and reflection. Sometimes sharing your dreams or symbolic experiences with a trusted group or spiritual companion can help illuminate meanings that are hard to see alone. Others can mirror back themes you might overlook and offer validating perspectives. 5. Embodied integration. Translate your dream messages into action. If your soul is asking you to reclaim courage, take a bold step in your waking life. If you dream of water, spend time near a lake or take a ritual bath. Grounding the dream in the physical world affirms your willingness to listen and integrate, letting dreams lead you home. Ultimately, dreams and symbols are more than tools. They are bridges. They connect your conscious self with your eternal self. They reveal truths too vast for words and awaken layers of memory that reside in your very bones. They remind you that your soul has never been lost, only waiting for you to remember. Let your dream life be a sacred dialogue. Let symbols be the poetry of your path. Let past life glimpses deepen your compassion and clarity. You are more than what you know, and your soul is always speaking, always remembering, always guiding you home. Let this be your affirmation. I open to the wisdom of my dreams. I trust the language of my soul. I remember who I have been, and I honor who I am becoming. In the next chapter, we will explore the sacred gifts your soul has carried across time and how you can awaken and embody them in this life. 5. Soul gifts and callings. What you're here to embody. Every soul arrives on earth carrying unique gifts, qualities, and a sacred blueprint. These are not random talents or personality quirks. They are encoded frequencies you've cultivated across lifetimes. They reflect the essence of who you are and what you are here to express. In this chapter, we explore how to recognize your soul gifts and understand the deeper callings that pull at your spirit. We begin the process of reclaiming the innate wisdom you are meant to bring forth in this lifetime. To embody your gifts is not to boast, but to serve. When you live in alignment with your calling, you are not just fulfilling personal desires. You are contributing to the greater harmony of the whole. Your gifts were not given to be hidden or hoarded. They are meant to ripple outward, awakening others simply through your presence. What are soul gifts? Soul gifts are expressions of your deeper essence, qualities and capacities that transcend the ego and reflect your eternal self. These gifts may be creative, intuitive, intellectual, healing, or relational in nature. They are not limited to what society considers talent or achievement. A soul gift could be the ability to hold space for others, to bring beauty into mundane moments, or to intuitively understand what isn't being said. Some soul gifts are obvious and consciously known. Others remain dormant until activated by experience, adversity, or awakening. Many gifts re-emerge after long periods of forgetting, often accompanied by a sense of deep homecoming or emotional release. To identify your soul gifts, reflect on moments when you feel most alive, most connected, most true. When do you lose track of time? What do people often thank you for? Where do others turn to you for insight or support? These questions are breadcrumbs pointing back to your soul's sacred capabilities. Recognizing callings as soul invitations. While gifts are inherent qualities, callings are directional pulls. They guide you towards specific expressions or paths that allow your gifts to flourish. A calling is not always a career. It is a soul-level assignment. It may be grand and visible, like writing a book or founding a movement. Or it may be intimate and quiet, like raising children with intention or tending sacred land. Callings often begin as whispers, subtle longings, intuitive nudges, or emotional responses to the world's suffering. You may feel inexplicably drawn to a cause, a place, or a way of being. The pull might not make logical sense, but it won't let you go. Many people wait for certainty before answering a calling. But in truth, clarity often comes through action. By taking one small step in the direction of your longing, you activate a deeper current of guidance. The soul responds to movement. Even a humble beginning can unlock a larger unfolding. How gifts and callings are remembered. You may not consciously remember all your soul gifts, but they remember you. They live in your energy field, your cellular memory, your desires, and your wounds. Often, the places where you've been most hurt are connected to the gifts you're here to reclaim. For instance, someone with the gift of deep empathy may have spent lifetimes being misunderstood or overwhelmed by others' pain. A natural leader may have faced betrayal or persecution. A healer may carry the memory of times when their medicine was feared or silenced. These imprints create a kind of amnesia, a protective forgetting. But as you awaken, the desire to reclaim your essence grows stronger than the fear of visibility. You remember your gifts by noticing what you're naturally drawn to, what comes through you with ease, and what feels sacred when you do it. You also remember through practice. The more you engage with your gifts, the more they reveal themselves. It's like tuning an instrument. The clearer your intention and attention, the more resonance you create. The soul blueprint, alignment over imitation. In a world that encourages comparison and conformity, it's easy to believe you must emulate others to be valuable. But your soul blueprint is not meant to match anyone else's. It is entirely original. Your unique energetic configuration cannot be duplicated. Living your blueprint means aligning with what is true for you, even when it defies convention. It means choosing authenticity over approval, depth over performance. This can feel vulnerable at first, but with each act of alignment, you anchor more deeply into your essence. You begin to radiate a frequency that is unmistakably yours, and this frequency calls others into their own truth as well. Your soul blueprint may include certain archetypal energies, such as the teacher, the healer, the artist, or the guardian. You may find yourself resonating with multiple expressions over time. That's natural. The soul is dynamic. What matters most is that you live from within, not from imitation. Practices to awaken and embody soul gifts, to deepen your connection to your soul gifts and callings. Engage in practices that invite inner clarity and energetic activation. Here are some suggestions. 1. Gift mapping. Create a visual map or list of experiences where you felt purposeful, joyful, or deeply at ease. What patterns emerge? Highlight specific skills, emotional qualities, or intuitive strengths that show up repeatedly. 2. Calling journaling. Set aside time to free write in response to these prompts. If I knew the world needed something only I could offer, what might it be? What kind of service or creation would I choose if fear or money were not obstacles? What longing has lived in me for years, even if I've tried to ignore it? 3. Embodiment practice. Choose one soul gift and devote a week to consciously expressing it. For example, if your gift is presence, practice deep listening in every conversation. If your gift is creativity, make space to create without judgment. For inner child and past life reflection, explore how your childhood joys and fears relate to your gifts. What did you love before you were told what to be? What gifts might you be carrying from other lifetimes? Use guided meditation to connect with a past self who lived in full expression. 5. Sacred witnessing. Ask a trusted friend or spiritual mentor to reflect back to you the gifts they see in you. Sometimes others can name what we cannot yet claim. Obstacles to embodiment and how to move through them. Many people sense their soul gifts, but struggle to embody them fully. Common obstacles include fear of judgment or failure. What if I'm not good enough? Cultural conditioning. It's not practical or realistic. Imposter syndrome. Who am I to do this? Energetic residue, past life wounds, or ancestral patterns that block expression. To move through these blocks, start with compassion. Acknowledge the fear, but don't let it lead. Remember that your gifts are not for perfection. They are for presence. They are not meant to save the world, only to add to its harmony in the way only you can. Work gently with your resistance. Use affirmations to rewire limiting beliefs. Create small, sacred experiments where you try on new expressions of your gift. Each courageous step helps melt the old barriers and call your essence back into embodiment. Living in alignment with your calling. When you live in alignment with your soul gifts and callings, life begins to feel more coherent. This doesn't mean it's always easy, but it feels right. Synchronicities increase. Energy flows more naturally. Even challenges become meaningful because they refine rather than derail your path. Alignment is not about perfection or constant productivity. It's about congruence. When your inner truth matches your outer choices, you become magnetic, peaceful, and potent. You inspire others simply by being yourself. Let this be your affirmation. I honor the gifts that live within me. I follow the callings that stir my soul. I trust that by being who I truly am, I serve a higher harmony. In the next chapter, we'll explore how ritual can help activate and anchor your soul codes, supporting you in living your truth with devotion and presence. 5. Soul gifts and callings, what you're here to embody. Every soul arrives on Earth carrying unique gifts, qualities, and a sacred blueprint. These are not random talents or personality quirks. They are encoded frequencies you've cultivated across lifetimes. They reflect the essence of who you are and what you are here to express. In this chapter, we explore how to recognize your soul gifts and understand the deeper callings that pull at your spirit. We begin the process of reclaiming the innate wisdom you are meant to bring forth in this lifetime. To embody your gifts is not to boast, but to serve. When you live in alignment with your calling, you are not just fulfilling personal desires. You are contributing to the greater harmony of the whole. Your gifts were not given to be hidden or hoarded. They are meant to ripple outward, awakening others simply through your presence. C. What are soul gifts? Soul gifts are expressions of your deeper essence, qualities and capacities that transcend the ego and reflect your eternal self. These gifts may be creative, intuitive, intellectual, healing, or relational in nature. They are not limited to what society considers talent or achievement. A soul gift could be the ability to hold space for others, to bring beauty into mundane moments, or to intuitively, understand what isn't being said. Some soul gifts are obvious and consciously known. Others remain dormant until activated by experience, adversity, or awakening. Many gifts reemerge after long periods of forgetting, often accompanied by a sense of deep homecoming or emotional really. ASE. To identify your soul gifts, reflect on moments when you feel most alive, most connected, most true. When you lose track of time, what do people often thank you for? Where do others turn to you for insight or support? These questions are breadcrumbs pointing back to your soul's sacred capabilities. Recognizing callings as soul invitations. While gifts are inherent qualities, callings are directional pulls. They guide you towards specific expressions or paths that allow your gifts to flourish. A calling is not always a career. It is a soul-level assignment. It may be grand and visible, like writing a book or founding a movement. Or it may be intimate and quiet, like raising children with intention or tending saker. D-land. Callings often begin as whispers, subtle longings, intuitive nudges, or emotional responses to the world's suffering. You may feel inexplicably drawn to a cause, a place, or a way of being. The pull might not make logical sense, but it won't let you go. Many people wait for certainty before answering a calling, but in truth, clarity often comes through action. By taking one small step in the direction of your longing, you activate a deeper current of guidance. The soul responds to movement. Even a humble beginning can unlock a larger unfolding. How gifts and callings are remembered. You may not consciously remember all your soul gifts, but they remember you. They live in your energy field, your cellular memory, your desires, and your wounds. Often, the places where you've been most heard are connected to the gifts you're here to reclaim. For instance, someone with the gift of deep empathy may have spent lifetimes being misunderstood or overwhelmed by others' pain. A natural leader may have faced betrayal or persecution. A healer may carry the memory of times when their medicine was feared or silenced. These imprints create a kind of amnesia, a protective forgetting. But as you awaken, the desire to reclaim your essence grows stronger than the fear of visibility. You remember your gifts by noticing what you're naturally drawn to, what comes through you with ease, and what feels sacred when you do it. You also remember through practice. The more you engage with your gifts, the more they reveal themselves. It's like tuning an instrument. The clearer your intention and attention, the more resonance you create. The soul blueprint, alignment over imitation. In a world that encourages comparison and conformity, it's easy to believe you must emulate others to be valuable. But your soul blueprint is not meant to match anyone else's. It is entirely original. Your unique energetic configuration cannot be duplicated. Living your blueprint means aligning with what is true for you, even when it defies convention. It means choosing authenticity over approval, depth over performance. This can feel vulnerable at first, but with each act of alignment, you anchor more deeply into your essence. You begin to radiate a frequency that is unmistakably yours. And this frequency calls others into their own truth as well. Your soul blueprint may include certain archetypal energies, such as the teacher, the healer, the artist, or the guardian. You may find yourself resonating with multiple expressions over time. That's natural. The soul is dynamic. What matters most is that you live from within, not from imitation. Practices to awaken and embody soul gifts, to deepen your connection to your soul gifts and callings. Engage in practices that invite inner clarity and energetic activation. Here are some suggestions. 1. Gift mapping. Create a visual map or list of experiences where you felt purposeful, joyful, or deeply at ease. What patterns emerge? Highlight specific skills, emotional qualities, or intuitive strengths that show up repeatedly. 2. Calling journaling. Set aside time to free write in response to these prompts. If I knew the world needed something only I could offer, what might it be? What kind of service or creation would I choose if fear or money were not obstacles? What longing has lived in me for years, even if I've tried to ignore it? 3. Embodiment practice. Choose one soul gift and devote a week to consciously expressing it. For example, if your gift is presence, practice deep listening in every conversation. If your gift is creativity, make space to create without judgment. 4. Inner child and past life reflection. Explore how your childhood joys and fears relate to your gifts. What did you love before you were told what to be? What gifts might you be carrying from other lifetimes? Use guided meditation to connect with a past self who lived in full expression. 5. Sacred witnessing. Ask a trusted friend or spiritual mentor to reflect back to you the gifts they see in you. Sometimes others can name what we cannot yet claim. Obstacles to embodiment and how to move through them. Many people sense their soul gifts, but struggle to embody them fully. Common obstacles include fear of judgment or failure. What if I'm not good enough? Cultural conditioning. It's not practical or realistic. Imposter syndrome. Who am I to do this? Energetic residue. Past life wounds or ancestral patterns that block expression. To move through these blocks, start with compassion. Acknowledge the fear, but don't let it lead. Remember that your gifts are not for perfection. They are for presence. They are not meant to save the world, only to add to its harmony in the way only you can. Work gently with your resistance. Use affirmations to rewire limiting beliefs. Create small, sacred experiments where you try on new expressions of your gift. Each courageous step helps melt the old barriers and call your essence back into embodiment. Living in alignment with your calling. When you live in alignment with your soul gifts and callings, life begins to feel more coherent. This doesn't mean it's always easy, but it feels right. Synchronicities increase. Energy flows more naturally. Even challenges become meaningful because they refine rather than derail your path. Alignment is not about perfection or constant productivity. It's about congruence. When your inner truth matches your outer choices, you become magnetic, peaceful, and potent. You inspire others simply by being yourself. Let this be your affirmation. I honor the gifts that live within me. I follow the callings that stir my soul. I trust that by being who I truly am, I serve a higher harmony. In the next chapter, we'll explore how ritual can help activate and anchor your soul codes, supporting you in living your truth with devotion and presence. 6. Remembering through ritual, activating soul codes. Ritual is not about religion, tradition, or performance. It is about presence. It is a language of the soul that speaks through intention, rhythm, and sacred action. Long before we had organized belief systems, we had ritual, the instinctual practice of marking transitions, honoring the unseen, and aligning with deeper truth. In this chapter, we explore how conscious ritual can serve as a powerful gateway to remembering who you are at the soul level. Ritual, when offered with sincerity, can awaken dormant codes within you, those latent strands of wisdom, memory, and purpose embedded in your energetic field. Your soul codes are the vibrational imprints of your essence. They are the part of you that knows how to live as light, love, and presence. When you engage in sacred ritual, you create conditions for these codes to activate. This is not metaphorical. It is energetic. You are literally tuning yourself to the frequency of your highest self. The purpose of ritual in soul remembering. Ritual helps us drop out of the thinking mind and into the sacred now. It reminds the body, heart, and spirit that this moment matters. Whether you are lighting a candle, drawing a sacred symbol, chanting a name of the divine, or simply breathing with intention, you are anchoring your presence in a field of remembrance. When we perform ritual, we are not trying to manufacture meaning. We are revealing what already is. The act of slowing down, creating space, and offering our attention becomes a bridge to the soul. Through ritual, we remember that we are more than a personality. We are timeless beings temporarily clothed in form. Rituals that activate soul codes. There are countless ways to use ritual as a tool for soul remembering. Here are a few foundational types. 1. Naming rituals. Your soul has a name. It may not be the one you were given at birth, though your given name may carry vibrations of your essence. A naming ritual invites you to tune into the frequency of who you truly are and allow that name to rise. This can be a word, a sound, or even a symbol. Sit in meditation, place a hand over your heart, and ask, what name honors my soul? What sound calls me home? Once received, speak it aloud. Write it, dance it, let it settle into your cells. 2. Elemental rituals. Connect with the elements. Earth, water, fire, air as allies in your remembering. Each element mirrors a soul aspect. Earth, stability, lineage, grounding. Try a barefoot, walk with intention. Water, emotion, memory, flow. Try a ritual bath with salt and essential oils. Fire, transformation, power, illumination. Burn a written fear or limitation. Air, clarity, breath, expansion. Use breath work or incense to clear energy. 3. Moon and solar rituals. The cycles of the moon and sun are ancient teachers. Aligning with their rhythms can support your own cycles of release, integration, and emergence. On a new moon, set intentions for what you wish to remember and embody. On a full moon, release patterns or beliefs that block your soul expression. Let your rituals be simple but sincere. 4. Ancestral connection rituals. Invite your wise and well ancestors to join you in sacred space. Create an altar with photos, objects, or symbols that represent your lineage. Offer gratitude. Ask them to bless your path of remembrance. You carry not only your own soul memory, but the memory of generations. Rituals can help you heal the past and reclaim ancestral gifts. 5. Sound and movement rituals. Your voice and body are instruments of remembering. Chanting, toning, singing, and dancing can all activate codes that language cannot reach. Don't worry about how it looks or sounds. Let the movement or sound arise from within. Trust what flows. Creating personal rituals. While traditional rituals hold power, your most potent rituals will often be the ones you create yourself. Trust your intuition. Let your soul guide the structure, symbols, and meaning. To design your own ritual, begin with intention. What are you invoking or releasing? Choose symbolic actions: lighting a candle, writing a letter, placing stones, offering herbs. Invite the elements or guides: earth energies, ancestors, star beings, soul family. Set the space. Use music, incense, sacred objects. Enter the moment fully. Speak aloud. Move slowly. Let emotion arise. Close with gratitude. Offer thanks to the seen and unseen. Seal the space with breath or prayer. Even a 5-minute ritual performed with heart can shift your state profoundly. The goal is not perfection. It is presence. Why ritual works: the energetic mechanism. Ritual works because it creates a resonance field, a vibrational coherence between your intention and your soul. When you engage in ritual, you are aligning with archetypal energies, divine frequencies, and ancestral memory. You are synchronizing your human self with your higher self. Ritual also bypasses resistance. When the conscious mind is preoccupied, it often blocks transformation. But through ritual, you speak directly to the subconscious, which holds your beliefs, memories, and patterns. Ritual offers a symbolic pathway through which transformation becomes possible. In quantum terms, ritual collapses possibility into reality. It shifts you from observer to co-creator. You become an active participant in your own awakening. Soul codes and sacred activation. Soul codes are multidimensional, light-encoded frequencies that carry your unique essence and evolutionary potential. They are often dormant until triggered by spiritual growth, life events, or conscious intention. Ritual is one of the most effective ways to activate these codes. When a soul code is activated, you may experience a sudden knowing or remembrance, emotional release, or waves of joy, dreams with symbolic guidance, shifts in perception or priorities, increased intuition or synchronicity. You do not need to understand the mechanics. Simply trust that when you create sacred space and show up with devotion, something ancient within you wakes up. Some codes may activate through sacred geometry, drawing or visualizing certain patterns, like spirals or stars. Sound, frequencies, tuning forks, singing bowls, mantras. Light codes, visualizing light entering your body or chakras. Spoken declarations, affirming soul truths aloud. Follow what resonates. Your soul knows its own pathways. Ritual as reclamation and empowerment. Many of us carry wounds around visibility, power, and spiritual expression. We may fear being too much, too weird, or too sensitive. Ritual helps us reclaim our sovereignty. It gives us a private, sacred space to honor who we are without apology. Through ritual, you affirm, my truth matters. My essence is sacred. My path is valid. You remember that you are a bridge between the seen and unseen, a priestess, a mystic, a way shower. Even if those roles were once suppressed or punished, they live in you still. Ritual restores what colonization, trauma, and forgetting have tried to erase. It reconnects you to the wisdom of the earth, the stars, and your own soul. Letting ritual become your way of life. Ritual is not something you have to schedule or isolate. It can become the fabric of how you move through the world. Lighting a candle before writing, speaking gratitude over your food, taking 3 breaths before responding to conflict, walking with reverence, listening deeply. When life becomes a ritual, every moment becomes sacred. Let this be your affirmation. Through ritual, I remember who I am. I activate the codes of my soul. I live each day as a sacred offering. In the next chapter, we will explore the concept of soul family and how recognizing kindred spirits can mirror and amplify your remembering in powerful ways. 7. Your soul family recognizing kindred mirrors. Your soul did not come here to journey alone. Alongside your individual path, there exists a constellation of souls whose energy complements, catalyzes, and supports your growth. These are your soul family, kindred spirits with whom you share deep resonance, karmic ties, and a shared mission of awakening. In this chapter, we explore how to recognize these sacred relationships and understand their role in your journey of remembrance. Soul family connections are not always easy, but they are meaningful. They often enter your life at pivotal moments, bringing insight, healing, or challenge. They remind you of who you are and who you are becoming. Recognizing your soul family is not about labels or categories. It is about energy, recognition, and a sense of homecoming that transcends logic. What is a soul family? Your soul family is a group of souls you have traveled with across lifetimes. These beings may have shared past lives with you in different roles, as lovers, friends, parents, children, teachers, or even adversaries. Together, you co-create experiences that facilitate evolution, healing, and remembering. A soul family is not necessarily your biological family, though sometimes the two overlap. Biological family often carries ancestral karma and lessons, while soul family carries resonance, alignment, and a sense of spiritual kinship. When you meet someone from your soul family, you may feel an instant bond, a sense of deep familiarity, or a heightened emotional charge. It can feel like you've known them forever because, in a sense, you have. Recognizing soul family in this lifetime. Soul family often reveals itself through the language of resonance. You may feel deeply seen, accepted, or activated by someone quickly, as if your soul recognizes something in them that the mind cannot define. Their presence might feel healing, electric, or even disorienting, stirring old memories or future potentials. Powerful synchronicities often surround your meeting, a sudden alignment of timing, unexpected circumstances, or shared dreams. You might discover you share similar spiritual interests, values, or life patterns, even if you come from very different backgrounds. And most importantly, soul family members often trigger healing and growth. Their reflections bring clarity, their challenges stretch you, and their encouragement reaffirms your truth. Whether the connection is quiet or intense, there is usually a profound sense of homecoming a deep internal knowing that says, I remember you. These connections are not always easy or harmonious. In fact, soul family members often reflect your shadow, as well as your light. They may catalyze rapid evolution, pushing you to grow beyond your current limitations. The intensity of these relationships is part of their sacred function. They are mirrors, revealing where you have forgotten your wholeness and where you are being invited to embody more of your essence. Soul contracts and shared missions. Before incarnating, your soul may have created agreements with other souls to meet and support each other in specific ways. These soul contracts are not fixed fates, but invitations. You may have agreed to help each other awaken through love or conflict, each interaction serving as a catalyst for transformation. Some soul family members arrive to hold space during periods of personal or collective transition, acting as anchors of stability or wisdom. Others may walk beside you to co-create work or service that aligns with your shared values and vision. Many of these relationships involve balancing karmic energy from past lives, helping each other resolve lingering lessons and restore energetic equilibrium. These contracts are not always conscious. You might only realize them in hindsight when you look back on the profound impact someone had on your journey. Whether they stayed for years or only a moment, their presence marked a turning point. You are not required to remain in every soul family connection forever. Some contracts are complete after a single lesson or season. Trust your inner knowing. What matters most is honoring the exchange and learning from the reflection. Sacred friendships and soul resonance. Among the most beautiful expressions of soul family are sacred friendships, relationships rooted in spiritual resonance, mutual growth, and unconditional presence. These friends hold space for your becoming. They see you beyond your wounds and reflect back your truth. They celebrate your soul, not just your success. In a sacred friendship, you feel safe to be fully yourself. You share deeply, listen with your heart, and uplift each other's path. These relationships are rare but deeply nourishing. They may span decades or arise spontaneously in moments of shared vulnerability. Why? To cultivate these connections, practice authenticity by showing up as your whole self, even when it feels risky. Share your spiritual journey, your doubts, your discoveries. Let your truth be seen. Create rituals or check-ins to nurture the bond, and honor the sacredness of your time together by being fully present. These practices deepen trust and intimacy, helping your connection thrive across time and distance. See, if you do not currently have this kind of relationship, trust that your resonance is calling them in. As you become more of your true self, you become more magnetic to those who align with your freak. And see why. The role of soul family in healing. Soul family often enters our lives to help us heal. Sometimes this healing is gentle. A friend who listens without judgment, a mentor who validates your truth. Other times, it is disruptive, a relationship that surfaces old pain or mirrors patterns you've been avoiding. Both forms are sacred. The soothing presence and the painful trigger are both expressions of love. They are reminders. They bring unconscious material to the surface, so it can be transformed. Healing through soul family often includes releasing codependent patterns by learning to hold healthy boundaries and autonomy within action. It also involves learning to receive support with openness and grace, rather than assuming you must walk the path alone. You are invited to let go of judgment and control, to accept others and yourself as evolving beings. And finally, soul family relationships help you rewrite relational templates inherited from childhood or past lives, replacing old pain with new patterns of love, trust, and mutual respect. Every soul connection is an opportunity to remember a deeper part of yourself. Whether the relationship lasts or not, ask, what am I learning here? What am I being shown about love, truth, or sovereignty? Calling in soul family through intention. You can consciously call in soul family. Begin by clarifying your desire. Ask your higher self, who am I ready to meet? What kind of support or resonance do I need on my path? Right now, create a ritual or write a letter to your future soul companions. Describe how you will feel in their presence. Speak aloud your intention to connect. Then, take aligned action by attending events or joining communities that reflect your Our values. Share your truth publicly. Even if it feels vulnerable, authenticity attracts alignment. Follow intuitive nudges that lead you to new places or people, and be open to receiving connection in unexpected forms. Your soul family may appear as strangers, colleagues, or spiritual guides. Stay present, stay open, and trust your resonance. When soul family feels far away, at times you may feel isolated, even on a spiritual path. You may long for connection and wonder why your people haven't appeared. This, too, is part of the journey. Sometimes the soul asks for solitude to deepen your anchoring. Other times, it is clearing space for new frequencies to enter. Use this time to strengthen your connection with your higher self, deepen your spiritual practices, and clarify your values. Heal relational wounds that may block new intimacy, such as trust issues or fear of vulnerability. Practice being the kind of friend you wish to receive, present, kind, and spiritually engaged. This embodiment sends a powerful signal to the universe and begins to draw resonance toward you. Trust that you are not alone, even when it feels that way. Your soul family is real. They are seeking you too. Let this be your affirmation. I recognize my soul family by the light in their eyes, the resonance of their presence, and the remembrance they awaken in me. We are already connected, and we are coming home, me to each other. In the next chapter, we will explore the magnetic pull of purpose and how aligning with your soul's divine design can guide every step of your path with clarity and courage. 8. The pull of purpose, aligning with divine design. There is a deep longing that lives within each of us, an inner tug that whispers, you are meant for something more. This is the pull of purpose. It is not always loud or clear, but it is persistent. It is not defined by job titles or societal achievement, but by alignment with your soul's unique blueprint. In this chapter, we explore the nature of divine purpose, how to recognize its subtle signals, and how to live in harmony with the path you're all came here to walk. Purpose is not a single destination. It is a way of being. It is the choice, moment by moment, to express your essence in the world. When you are aligned with your purpose, life does not become perfect, but it becomes infused with meaning. Even challenges feel worthwhile. Even waiting has purpose. You begin to trust that your path, no matter how winding, is unfolding with intelligence and intention. Understanding soul purpose versus cultural purpose. Many people spend years chasing a version of purpose defined by external standards. Success, productivity, and public recognition are often mistaken for meaning. While these things can be fulfilling, they are not the source of true purpose. Soul purpose is internal. It is not about what you do, but about how you do it, the energy, intention, and consciousness you bring to each experience. For example, someone whose sole purpose is to bring harmony might express that through music, healing, media, tie-in, or even parenting. Their purpose is not confined to a specific career. It is carried in how they move through life. Another soul might be here to anchor truth, which could manifest through activism, writing, or simply being an unwavering presence in a community, when you shift from asking, "What should I do with my life?" to "How can I embody my essence?" the search for purpose transforms. It becomes less about striving and more about remembering, recognizing the pull of purpose. The pull of purpose often begins with a sense of dissatisfaction or yearning. You may feel out of place, unfulfilled, or deeply restless. This is not a sign of failure. It is a sacred signal. Your soul is trying to get your attention. You might experience a growing discomfort in environments or roles that once felt fine, an inner craving for more authenticity, creativity, or depth, strong emotional responses to certain issues or causes, dreams or intuitive nudge, guests pointing to new directions. These sensations are invitations. They do not demand immediate answers, but they do ask for presence. When you feel the pull, do not push it away. Sit with it. Listen. Ask, "What is this trying to? Oh, show me about who I really am." Purpose as living frequency. Your purpose is not a task to complete, but a frequency to live. It is a vibration you emit when you are being fully yourself. This frequency can be felt by others. It uplifts, inspires, and reminds them of their own truth. It also magnetizes opportunities and connections that resonate with your soul's design. Living your frequency means choosing alignment over approval. It means saying yes to what expands you and no to what diminishes you. It means trusting your intuitive knowing, even when it defies logic. You may still have doubts, but you choose to walk in the direction of resonance. When you are living in your purpose frequency, you often feel energized rather than drained, connected to something larger than yourself, guided even amidst uncertainty, at peace even during challenge. This does not mean life is always easy, but it becomes meaningful. Each moment becomes part of the unfolding. The evolution of purpose. Purpose is not fixed. It evolves as you do. What felt purposeful in one season of life may fall away in the next. This is natural. As you heal, grow, and remember more of who you are, your expression of purpose refine. You might go through periods of silence, rest, or redirection. These are not regressions. They are sacred pauses. In the stillness, new clarity is seeded. Trust the cycles. Trust that what is falling away is making space for what wants to emerge. Aligning with purpose through embodied praise. NCE. The most powerful way to live your purpose is to show up fully for the life you already have. This does not mean settling. It means bringing soul to each moment. NT. Washing the dishes with love. Listening to a friend with your whole be. ING. Creating art that no one may see simply because it brings you joy. Purpose is not out there. It is in here. In your breath, your truth, your intention. To align more deeply, begin each day with a question. How can I live in alignment with my soul? Today, let go of needing to know the whole path. Follow the next true step. Celebrate small moments of alignment as sacred victories. Be willing to let go of what no longer fits your frequency. Practices for remembering and embodying purpose. Here are some reflective and energetic practices to help you remember and embody your soul's purpose. 1. Soul inquiry journaling. Write freely in response to prompts such as, what am I most alive when I am doing? What gifts do others naturally receive from me? What truth have I always known, but rarely spoken? 2. Purpose meditation. Sit in silence. Place your hand over your heart. Ask inwardly, show me my soul's purpose now. Trust what you see, feel, or hear. It may come as a feeling, a word, or an image. 3. Purpose walks. Take a walk in nature with the intention of receiving guidance. Ask a question silently. Notice what you feel drawn to, a tree, a rock, a bird. Let Nat, yours speak. For embodied action, choose one soul-aligned action each day, a conversation, a creation, a boundary, a rest that affirms your truth. Let these acts build momentum. 5. Sacred map making. Draw or collage a visual map of your purpose. Include symbols, phrases, or archetypes that represent your essence. Let it be fluid, no. Final. When the path is unclear, there will be times when your purpose feels elusive. You may feel lost, uncertain, or stuck. This is not a problem. It is a portal. When you do not know what to do, focus on who you are. Being. Ask, am I honoring my truth, even in small ways? Am I listening to my soul or silencing it? Am I willing to be patient as see? Clarity arises. Let mystery be part of the path. Your soul knows the way. Even when you feel lost, you are being guided. Living your purpose as a GI. FT to the world. When you live in alignment with your purpose, it is not only a gift to you, it is a gift to the world. Your presence becomes medicine. Your authenticity becomes permission. Your light becomes a lighthouse. You do not need to be famous or flawless. You simply need to be true. Your soul came here to express something only you can. Trust that your unique essence matters. Let this be your affirmation. I am guided by the pull of purpose. I trust my soul's design. I live each day in alignment, and I know my presence is enough. In the next chapter, we will explore how to lift the veil of forgetting and release the amnesia that has obscured your light, allowing your essence to shine more fully in the world. 9. Releasing the amnesia, letting your light be known. Many of us walk through life cloaked in spiritual amnesia. We forget who we truly are. We forget that we are not just our stories, wounds, or roles, but divine beings with purpose, memory, and power encoded and our very essence. In this chapter, we examined the veil of forgetting, how it forms, why it serves a purpose, and how it can be lovingly lifted to allow your light to shine more fully in the world. The process of awakening and soul remembering is not about gaining something new. It is about reclaiming what has always been yours. To release amnesia is to soften into truth. It is the journey back to visibility, to wholeness, to radiance. The nature of spiritual amnesia. Spiritual amnesia is the forgetting of your soul's self. It begins subtly. You adapt to survive. You take on beliefs that are not yours. You absorb shame, fear, and self-doubt from the world around you. Over time, you lose touch with the part of you that is whole and wise. You forget the sound of your own voice. See beneath the noise. This forgetting is not your fault. It is a natural part of incarnating into a human body. The density of the physical world, combined with social conditioning and ancestral trauma, makes it easy to forget the truth of your being. But the soul is never lost, only veiled. It waits, patient and luminous, for your return. Why we forget? Forgetting serves a sacred purpose. It creates the contrast needed for remembering to be meaningful. Without forgetting, we would not appreciate the sweetness of truth. Without the veil, we would not grow through experience. You may have chosen, on a soul level, to forget temporarily, so you could explore specific lessons, heal ancestral lines, or help shift collective consciousness. Forgetting allows you to reawaken, not just for yourself, but for the world. It gives you empathy, resilience, and humility. But there comes a point in your journey when the forgetting becomes too painful. You feel the tension between the life you've built and the life your soul is calling you toward. You begin to sense that something has been missing, not outside you, but within. This is the moment of remembering. The veil begins to lift. The lie begins to shine through. Symptoms of soul amnesia. You might be living with spiritual amnesia if you feel a persistent yet undefined sense of disconnection or emptiness, even when your life appears stable or successful from the outside. It can feel like a haunting quietness in the background, as if a part of you knows there is more, but you can't quite access it. Another sign is the habit of diminishing your own gifts, intuition, or inner voice due to fear or early conditioning. You may question your worth, your wisdom, or your right to express who you truly are. This shrinking often stems from a history of being invalidated or unseen. You might also find yourself staying small, avoiding risk or visibility, just to escape judgment, rejection, or perceived failure. These protective patterns, while once useful, begin to block the full expression of your soul. And perhaps most poignantly, you may carry a constant sense that you are not fully living your true life, as if you are on the edge of a deeper reality, but can't quite step through. These are not flaws. They are soul signals. They point to your readiness to awaken. Reclaiming visibility and voice. To reclaim your voice, begin speaking your truth in small and manageable ways. This could mean being honest about your feelings in a safe conversation, or finally saying yes to something your soul has longed for. Let your voice be heard, even if it shakes. Each act of truth-telling breaks another thread of the old I'll. Share your creativity without waiting for it to be perfect. Paint, write, sing, design, or speak because it feeds your spirit, not because it meets someone else's expectations. Your expression does not need approval to be valid. Let your presence be medicine. Simply showing up as your whole self without filtering or editing offers healing to others and to yourself. Your being is powerful, even when your doing is quiet. And most of all, trust that being visible is not inherently unsafe. Yes, it may have felt dangerous in the past. Yes, you may carry memories from this life or others of being silenced, shamed, or armed. But those memories are not your present reality. In reclaiming your voice, you reclaim your safety, your sovereignty, and your sacred place in world, living beyond the veil. When you begin to live beyond the veil, your choices shift from fear to faith. You start making decisions that honor your essence instead of your conditioning. You choose jobs, relationships, and environments that nourish your soul rather than merely maintain you. You are image. You surround yourself with people who see and honor your true essence. These are soul family, kindred spirits who affirm your path and reflect your light. You no longer chase belonging. You magnetize it by being real. You align your work, relationships, and lifestyle with your truth. This alignment might require change, but the peace and authenticity it brings are worth every risk. Your life becomes a canvas for your soul to paint upon. You begin to live each day as a prayer, a poem, a promise, not because life becomes easy or pain-free, but because it becomes infused with meaning. Each breath becomes sacred. Each moment becomes a choice to remember. This is what it means to let your HT be known, not as performance, T as presence, not as achievement, but as authenticity. Let this be your affirmation. I remember who I am. I release the veil of forgetting. I let my light be seen, felt, and known. I am sacred. I am whole. I am home. In the next chapter, we will explore the sacred act of naming your essence, claiming your soul identity in language, SYMB, and truth. 10. The sacred naming, claiming your soul identity. There is immense power in naming. Words hold vibration. Language carries frequency. To name your soul identity is not to confine yourself to a label, but to anchor your essence into conscious form. It is an act of reclamation, intenti, and visibility. In this chapter, we explore the sacred practice of naming, how to uncover your true name, how to work with soul symbols and language, and how this naming can support your embodiment of who why. Oh, you came here to be. Naming is not about ego. It is about essence. It is about tuning in to the part of you that remembers. A soul name may be a sound, a word, a symbol, or a frequency that stirs your ancient knowing. It is the verbal and energetic key that unlocks remembra, NCE, and alignment. Why naming matters. In spiritual traditions across time and culture, names have been sacred. To name something is to call it into being. To know the true name of a being, place, or energy is to enter into calm. Munyon with its soul. Children receive names at birth, but these names are often chosen based on family, culture, or meaning projected by others. Your soul, however, may carry a deeper name, one that speaks not to your identity in this life alone, to your eternal self. Naming allows you to reclaim your narrative. It is an act of spiritual authorship. When you name your essence, you stop waiting for the world to define you. You become your own definition. You speak yourself into power. How to discover your soul name. Your soul name already exists. It is not something you invent, but something you remember. There are many ways to INV. Aid it into consciousness. 1. Soul journey meditation. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Ask your soul, what is my true name? Allow an image, word, sound, or sensation to arise. Trust what you receive. It may not be linear. It may come in symbols, fey, eelings, or light languages. 2. Dream work. Before sleeping, ask for your soul name to be revealed in a dream. Write down anything you remember upon waking. Pay attention to repeated sounds, symbols, or words that feel familiar but mysterious. 3. Automatic writing. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Write the prompt, if my soul had a name, it would be, and let your hand move without overthinking. Flow. Reread afterward why. Your heart, not your mind. 4. Ancestral and Akashic inquiry. You may wish to consult a trusted intuitive healer or Akashic record reader who can mirror your soul name or frequency back to you. Always confirm it resonates within. Your soul name may not be pronounceable in human language. That's okay. It may feel like a vibration, an image, or a color. It may be more about how it makes you feel than how it sounds. Whatever form it takes, your soul name will carry a frequency of recognition. It will feel like truth, like a cloak being returned to your shoulders, like a door unlocking inside you. Working with your soul name. Once you receive your soul name, it becomes a tool for activation and alignment. You can speak it in meditation. You can write it in your journal or create art that embodies its energy. You can whisper it before sleep or silently invoke it in moments of fear or confusion. You might choose to create a soul name altar, a dedicated space where you gather objects, colors, stones, or sacred images that carry the energy of your name. This altar serves as a daily reminder and anchor of your essence. Each time you sit before it, you IRM your connection to your soul. You can also weave your soul name into your creative work, whether it's signing a poem, painting, or piece of music with this sacred name, or allowing it to inspire a theme or vibration within your creations. This act transmits your soul frequency into what you offer the world. Using your soul name as a mantra is a powerful practice during breath work, dance, or other movement modalities. As you repeat it aloud or internally, you activate cellular memory and call forth the energy encoded in the name itself. You may feel more grounded, empowered, or energetically expanded. Some people feel called to include their soul name in public-facing work, such as in their signature, website, or spiritual offerings. If this resonates with you, Know that doing so is a profound act of spiritual declaration. However, it's equally valid to keep your name private, sacred, and shared only with your guides or closest circle. The most important thing is honoring the truth of what it means to you and how it wants to live through you. Naming as symbolic sovereignty. In a world that often seeks to name us from the outside, to categorize, brand, or box us in, choosing your own name is an act of liberation. It says, I know who I am. I remember. I choose. This applies not just to your soul name, but to the words and titles you claim in the world. Mystic, healer, light weaver, warrior, priestess, artist, creator. These archetypes carry frequency. They are not labels of superiority. They are portals into embodiment. When you speak these names, you activate the aspects of your soul they represent. You are not pretending or performing. You are invoking memory. Let yourself name your path. Name your truth. Name your role in the collective awakening. Speak it aloud. Write it in fire. Let it echo. Working with soul symbols and energetic language. In addition to naming, your soul may communicate through symbols and nonverbal language. These include light codes are geometric patterns, glyphs, or visual downloads that feel more alive than drawn. They often come through dreams, spontaneous scribbles, or inner visions. If you feel compelled to draw or paint them, trust the impulse. They are activating your memory on a cellular and energetic level. Light language is another form of expression that bypasses the mind. It may come through as sounds, syllables, or chants that emerge spontaneously during meditation, singing, or sacred space. You might not understand what you're saying, but your soul and energy field do. Speaking or listening to light language often brings release, healing, or deep remembering. Animal allies or nature signs are often messengers of soul memory. Perhaps a particular bird, tree, or animal keeps appearing in your life. These are not coincidences. They are reflections of your inner essence. You might feel drawn to a specific animal's qualities, such as the owl's wisdom or the dolphin's playfulness. Let these symbols guide your rituals, dreams, and choices. If you feel drawn to certain symbols, don't dismiss them. Draw them. Meditate with them. Wear them on your skin or clothing. Display them in your space. You don't need to analyze their meaning. Your body, intuition, and subtle senses already know. Allow these soul symbols to work on you from the inside out. Naming your gifts and roles. Another layer of sacred naming is acknowledging the gifts you carry. Many of us downplay our gifts out of fear or modesty. But your gifts are not yours to hoard. They are soul offerings. Naming them allows you to use them with clarity and purpose. Ask yourself, what do I naturally offer others without effort? What do people thank me for? What do I feel most alive doing? What part of me do I hide because it feels too much? These questions help surface soul gifts. Name them. Celebrate them. Let them be seen. Living as your named self. Once you've named your essence, your gifts, and your soul path, the invitation is to live in alignment with that truth. Let your choices, boundaries, relationships, and offerings reflect your named self. This doesn't mean perfection. It means presence. It means remembering every day who you are and why you're here. Let your name be your compass. Let your symbols be your shield. Let your truth be your song. You are not here to hide. You are here to shine. Let this be your affirmation. I name myself in love, in truth, and in power. I remember who I am and why I came. I speak my soul into the world. I live as a sacred name made flesh. In the next chapter, we will explore integration, the art of weaving all these remembrances into embodied, everyday life. 11. Integration weaving soul remembering into everyday life. Remembrance is not meant to live only in meditation cushions, sacred circles, or journal pages. It is meant to be lived, embodied, woven into the fabric of your daily existence. In this final chapter, we explore how to bring your soul remembering into the world, in your choices, relationships, work, and way of being. Integration is the bridge between insight and embodiment. It is what turns a moment of awakening into a new way of life. Without integration, spiritual experiences remain disjointed flashes. With integration, they become the soil of transformation. The art of living your truth. Living your truth begins with presence. When you show up fully to the moment, not trying to fix, perform, or escape, you allow your soul to guide your actions. You listen to the quiet inner voice. You trust your resonance more than external expectations. This might look like saying no to something that drains your energy, even if it pleases others. Saying yes to something that expands you, even if it makes no logical sense. Honoring your need for solitude when the world calls you to be social. Speaking your truth even when your voice trembles. These are not small acts. They are soul declarations. Creating soul-aligned rituals. Daily rituals help you stay anchored in remembrance. They don't need to be elaborate. What matters is intention. You might begin each morning by lighting a candle and saying your soul name aloud, or pull a card from an oracle deck and journal what it stirs in you. A soul-aligned ritual could be a walk in nature, a dance in your living room, or 5 minutes of breath and gratitude. Even mundane tasks can become rituals when done with awareness. Washing dishes becomes an act of purification. Cooking becomes alchemy. Driving becomes a moving meditation. Let your life be your altar. Soul, remembering in relationships. Relationships are one of the most potent arenas for integration. Here, your soul truths are tested, refined, and mirrored. As you remember who you are, you may find some relationships no longer resonate. This can be painful. Letting go is not rejection. It is honoring your evolution. Trust that when you make space, new soul-aligned connections will arrive. In relationships that remain, bring more of your true self. Share your remembering. Invite your loved ones to witness your transformation. Be honest about your needs, boundaries, and desires. Listen deeply. Soul, remembering in relationship means choosing connection over control. It means holding others in their truth, even when it challenges yours. It means being willing to repair when rupture occurs, rather than retreat into shame or blame. Purposeful work and soulful contribution. N. Work is another realm for embodiment. You may not have a spiritual career, but your presence makes anything sacred. Whether you're a teacher, artist, healer, barista, parent, or entrepreneur, how you show up matter. S. Ask, how can I bring more soul into what I do? What values do I want my work to reflect? What kind of impact do I want to leave? V. Perhaps you infuse your emails with kindness, your products with intention, your meetings with integrity. Maybe you begin a transition toward more aligned RK. Maybe you reclaim joy in your current job by shifting your mindset. Your purpose is not a destination. It is a frequency you bring. Navigating the challenges of integration. Integration is not always graceful. As you embody your soul truth, you may feel resistance, grief, or fear. Old patterns don't dissolve instantly. You may have days of doubt, fog, or fatigue. This is normal. This is the work. Be gentle. Create space to rest. Journal your emotions. Reach out for support. Remember that healing happens in spirals, not straight lines. You are not failing, you are refining. Each challenge is a chance to deepen your alignment. creating a living relationship with why. Our soul. Integration is not about reaching a final state. It is about relationship. Your soul is a living being. It wants to dance with you through this life. Talk to your soul. Ask it questions. Make decisions with its guidance. Let it choose your food, your clothes, your music. Let it pick your next step. The more you involve your soul in daily life, the more natural the integration becomes. You begin to live as soul, not just it. Reflections and practices for integration. Here are a few powerful reflections and practices to support TH. Chapter 1. Daily Soul Check-In. Each morning or evening, ask, how did I honor my soul today? Where did I forget? What do I need to return to? Remembrance. 2. Aligned action. Choose one action each week that reflects your soul truth. Making art, setting a boundary, applying for something bold, having a hard conversation, or SIMPLY resting. 3. Soul-inspired journaling. Use prompts like, what does my soul want to create? What am I ready to release? What am I AF? Ready to claim? 4. Embodiment movement. Let your body lead. Dance your remembering. Move your emotions. Ground your insights into your physical form. 5. Community of mirrors. Surround yourself with others on a similar path. Share your remembering. Witness theirs. Be each other's essay. Cred mirror. The journey continues. This is not the end. It is the beginning of a new way of being. Soul remembering is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong path of peeling back layers, reclaiming wholeness, and embodying essence. You will forget again. That's okay. You now have the tools to return. You will evolve again. That's beautiful. Your soul is infinite. Let this be your final affirmation. I am not here to escape this life. I am here to infuse it with soul. I walk my path awake. I remember. I embody. I shine. Thank you for walking this journey. May your days be guided be. Why the light within? Conclusion, returning to the heart of who you are. You have traveled far, not in miles, but in memory, not across terrain, but through the sacred landscapes of the soul. This journey has not asked you to become someone else, but to unbecome the masks, stories, and illusions that have kept you from the truth, that you have always been whole, that you have always been sacred, that you have always been home. Soul remembering is not a final destination. It is a rhythm, a spiral path that brings you closer and closer to your essence with every breath, choice, and experience. Some days you will feel radiant in your knowing. Other days you may feel lost in the fog. But now you have anchors. Now why? Oh, you know how to return. You have learned to trust your intuition, honor your dreams, speak your soul's name, and walk with purpose. You've explored your ancient echoes, opened the Akashic Fields, awakened your sacred gifts, and embodied ritual a way of remembering. You've learned to listen deeply to the silence, to your body, to your spirit, and to reclaim the freedom of living from your truth. And most importantly, you've remembered that your life is the temple. Your presence is the offering. Your being is the gift. There is no need to rush to the next thing. Let this be a pause, a sacred exhale, moment to bow to yourself. You came here for this, to awaken, to remember, to live as soul in form. May you continue to this world with wonder. May your remembering ripple through every space you enter. May you be a lighthouse for others who are just beginning to stir. May you trust that what you are is already enough. Thank you for walking path of soul, remembering, with reverence and Seraphina Hartwell. Soul remembering Seraphina Hartwell. 5. Spiritual Awakening Book 12. Seraphina Hartwell. by Soul Sanctuary Audio. Copyright Seraphina Hartwell. For the update audiobook by click. Follow Soul Sanctuary Audio